Good afternoon and welcome. We'd like to welcome Stephanie Thomas, our Vice President of Marketing, Advertising, and keeping us all in line. And then we have Mr. King of Tennis, Carlos.
Thank
and
you.
He's got so much to talk about, but I have to tell you, just on a very brief note, we'll talk later about how wonderful things are going on the island and how well people have been behaving and doing the right thing for everybody else. But what amazing all of us is tennis. Tennis has become so overwhelmingly successful, more so than we ever anticipated. And based on that, Carlos wants to talk a little about some of the new events that we have. Some of them are the same we had last year, some are new ideas that he has for this coming year, and some of them are for after-school programs. So why don't we start first, Carlos, with tell us a little about what you're planning for the after-school programs coming up soon.
So welcome everybody. Thank you for having me here, Stephanie. So we have a great plan in mind for those parents that want to bring their kids here in the afternoon to our after-school junior program, which, by the way, starts August 31st. And we're going to have two sessions. The first session is going to be the session from 4 to 5. And this is every day, by the way, except for Fridays, because Fridays is going to be our rain out day. In case it rains, one day we have a makeup on Fridays. So the first session is going to be for the red ball kids, which is kids that are ages 5 to 7. They're going to come from 4 to 5 p.m. And we can have 2-3 courts, as many kids as we have to, as we need, as we want to. After that, we're going to have the orange ball kids, green dot, and yellow ball. Those are ages 8 to 9, 10 to 11, and then 11 to 16 years of age. The 8 to 9 is kids that are like considered orange ball. It's a smaller court. And then the red ball, they can play full court, but the ball is a little more of a transitional ball. And then we move up to the other level, which is the yellow ball, which is what all of us use, adults. And that's going to be also from 5 to 7. Prices and things like that, you can always call the Pro Shop. We are coming up with a new brochure for our after-school junior program right now. It's almost done. We just got to add the final touches and the last little details on that. So we're excited about being able to have that program after our youth summer camp, summer program ends, which is next week, which, by the way, we have extended it for one more week. We're supposed to be finished with the youth program this week, but we're going to make it one more week due to the parents asking and all the kids, being around for a little longer time this month. So
because school's starting a little bit later this
school
year.
That's another reason. School start a little later, so we're going to prolong that youth program one more week. And everybody's excited about that. So that's for one thing.
Okay, now before we go off that, because I know this is something we've got some calls about, because of the fact, obviously, the reason the schools didn't open is because it's almost impossible to do social distancing within the classroom. You get a tremendous amount of kids that respond to this program after school. And number one, this doesn't interfere at all with the resident play because it's late afternoon play. Mm-hmm. But tell us a little bit how you do the social distancing, how you separate the kids while they're in these groups to make sure that we do adhere with all of the rules and regulations of the CBC and the county.
Okay, so one of the reasons why we're doing 2 different times, and then 4 to 5 is for the littlest kids from 4 to 5. That's we're going to separate those kids from the older kids. So right now we have the youth summer program. Everybody is here at the same time, just different courts. And everybody's lined up, everybody keeps the distance on the court, everybody's moving around. If they need to take breaks, they take breaks one at a time. We go to the bathroom one at a time. We sit in the patio for a snack, and then we separate all the groups. But the beauty of this program, the after-school program, is that since we're separating the littlest kids from 4 to 5, and then the rest of the kids from 5 to 7, we're going to have a little more social distance there. On the courts, you can take off the mask, do whatever you want. We don't get them doing high fives or anything like that. We prohibit that completely. So we're just playing tennis, moving around, no stopping, no standing, no sitting, and if you're sitting in the canopies, you have to wear a mask. That's what we're doing as far as social distance for this junior program, Bob.
Okay. And I see there's a little flyer that says live ball.
Yep. So live ball. Live ball is in our newest clinic. It's not an event, it's a clinic. It's like we're having a clinic with kids. And we had the first live ball session last night for the first time. We have 6 people on each court, plus the pro, and it's all game based. So it's like an extension of doubles without the serve. You just continue playing points. and it's a lot of fun. It's a blast. You never stop moving. It's very cardio, and it's game based only. It's 1 or 2 games, and you do that for the whole hour. First half hour, of course, is warming up and all that sort of stuff.
And what other programs do we have coming up now as far as the residents, we don't allow guests, but the kids that live here? Because I know you've been packed with classes. That's going to end an extra week longer. And then what's going to happen?
Well, we're going to take that break next week after our Youth Summer program, and then we're just going to do private lessons and our regular adult clinics before we start the after school program. In between that, it's going to be about 2 weeks of just private lessons. We have the regular adult clinics, like I already mentioned, and that's pretty much it. But that's only going to be for 2 weeks. After that, we're going to go back to the same thing: the clinics in the morning for the adults, the private lessons all day long with the pros, and then the after school program in the afternoon from 4 to 7. The one thing I've been not having to struggle so much lately is with the members bringing guests. So as you know, we're not allowing guests in the island. We're not allowing guests in the island grill. We're not allowing guests on the tennis courts either, or anywhere in the island that we can
In the amenities,
that we can
yes.
in any part of the amenities of the island. So that's as far as that goes.
And Stephanie, do you have any questions? Because I know you get the calls from people about the tennis or the compliments about the tennis.
Yes, we have a lot of great calls about tennis, and especially because the parents, I think, were very happy when the summer program came, because it gave the kids a chance to get out in the fresh air, be supervised, and still be in those pods, so they're separated by groups. So it's the way that it was handled this year. They were separated, and it worked wonderfully. But it. Moving forward for the fall, with school starting later, we'll be starting with the after school program, so it'll be in the afternoon. And so for a lot of the children that are being homeschooled, with the virtual learning, the parents want them to have some exercise, be out in the fresh air. So it's a great program. We've already been getting a lot of calls about it. So once the brochures are ready, and probably the next week, we'll have them out to the concierges on the website, so the parents can see all of the programs, because the brochure will cover from August 31st until December 11th. So we'll have the whole season there with all the information.
Great. So Carlos, I want to know one thing. Did
Yep.
you get my memo about the shirt? Is that how we...
I think we just we're playing doubles later.
We are playing doubles, okay.
We're part of the team.
We are, okay.
We're doubles team.
We are the team, is that it?
So also wanted to talk about the hours of operation for tennis. They still remain the same, 8 to 6 or 8 to 7 during the weekdays, and then 8 to 6 during the weekends. Ball machine operates from 8 to 9 in the morning, and then we take the court for the junior program. And then after in the afternoon, members can book the ball machine in advance. Continue to bring your water bottles. Continue to bring your towels, and continue to bring and use your mask when you enter the facility. Once you go on the tennis court, take off the mask, and then we've implemented one more rule, which is when you're under the canopy, switching sides from one side of the net to the other, and you want to sit down and socialize, we want to encourage our members to wear masks while you're socializing under the canopy. And I know that some of you forget that at times, and we have our staff walking around and monitoring the courts. We're constantly reminding you of wearing your mask if you're sitting down under the canopy socializing with your tennis friends. Wanted to let you know that. Also, Bob, another question that has come up from my employees is, what do we do when we come back if we go on vacation and we come back? What are we supposed to do? Do we come back and do a quarantine of 14 days? What is the story with that, Bob?
All right, and I'm glad you asked that question, because that really applies to the entire staff of the island. If somebody goes on vacation, an employee we're talking about now, we would suggest, first let's talk about if they're within the United States.
Yeah.
Before they come back, they should be tested the day before, get a certificate that they've been tested. And
For
then
antibodies.
That's the antibodies and the exposure. When they come back, they should leave a few days before they're planning to go back to work, because we will require that they get a swab test to make sure they don't have it when they come back to work. They can go now, as can the residents, to the Nordstrom's testing. It's in the parking lot in front of Nordstrom's at Aventura Mall. You will get a 48-hour turnaround And before they can come back to actually work, they must have that test result back and give it to Deborah in HR.
Correct.
But it's usually very quick. So if they're going away, they should allow a couple of days more before they actually come back to work so they have time to do all this.
Perfect.
If they're coming in from out of the country, then that's a different issue. And in
Yeah.
normal cases, that's a 2-week quarantine for that. So if it's coming from South America, if it's coming, well, I don't even know if this flight's coming from Europe right now. But if they come from South America, Mexico, whatever this is, I believe there's a 2-week quarantine. Now, if they come back and they're tested and they don't have anything,
They can come back.
they can come back to work.
So it's almost the same thing.
But the
As long
difference is, they still cannot come back until they get that swab result.
Correct.
And the reason they need that, and that's very important, along with the blood in their case, is because they may have been exposed, but it hasn't come out yet. So the 2 weeks may be reduced to 1 week, but they still must have a negative swab result before they come back to work.
Correct.
So in that case, and I don't know how many are leaving the country, because I will tell you it's almost impossible to get flights out of the country.
I know that South America, most of the airports over there are closed.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
So
no
I
flights,
think
international
90%
flights.
would, if not more, would be the
Yeah.
US, and they must be tested positive before they come back. But there's a 48-hour turnaround now
Okay.
at the Nordstroms for them.
Perfect. Another thing I wanted to mention to the members in our, especially our tennis members, is that remember that our tennis pro shop is open, and then we have some great logo items, t-shirts and shirts and tennis attire, tennis clothes. We have new rackets from Wilson. We have the Clash. We have the Ultra. We're carrying all kinds of tennis accessories for you. So please come on out. If you need anything, let us know, and then purchase your equipment there. I'll be more than happy, or my staff will be more than happy to guide you or steer you in the right direction when it comes down to choosing a racket or a racket, tennis racket, or the right tennis shoe, or the right gear for your tennis. And one more thing I wanted to talk about is that remember that we're approaching the hurricane season, and then with that, we just had that. What's the name of the last hurricane that we just had?
Hurricane with an eye.
Isaias.
SIS, yes.
Isaias, I think it's pronounced. We got lucky with that, and with that we had a lot of rain that lasted for about 2 days. Members should consider that after 2 days or 3 days of rain, our courts are not going to be ready the next day after the rain stops, because we need to check them, we need to make sure that they're secure, they're safe for you to play. We care about the safety of you playing tennis on the court. We don't want anybody to trip over there with the lines, which is the dangerous part of the court when it rains and we lose a lot of play. So allow us at least 1 or 2 days for us to go ahead and repair the courts that got damaged because of the bad weather. So that's one thing. Be patient out there. I know we're going to get a lot of rain from now on. We're entering the highest peak of the hurricane season, which is from here to October, and then we'll go back to normal. Allow us some time to get the course fixed. If you see the nets down on the tennis course, please do not enter the court because that means it's down for a reason. It's down because it's going to be repaired. And I wanted to thank all the members for all the cooperation and all the collaboration when you see something like that.
Well, and I have to tell you something. You look at the news and you see what's going on around the world. And then you come to Williams Island, and here we are today, in spite of what we have to deal with, and it is around the corner, and it's happened to us on the island. You're talking about a gentleman who has not missed a day throughout this entire operation. Not only has he done the job, but exceeded anyone's expectations. And you're putting your life out there because, look, you're dealing with the public every single day.
Yep.
And I have to tell you, I can't tell you the appreciation we have because it's people like you that we have working here that make it possible for us to have and enjoy the life we have. I mean, Stephanie is here every single day working, in spite of the fact that there are people on this island, unfortunately, that have gotten extremely ill. We just had someone pass away. So the conditions they work under, and the reason I bring this up is because please understand that it's not always easy to get together on a face-to-face meeting. That's why our offices are closed, but we're available 24/7 to get an email to us. You'll be responded to, but to say thank you to you sounds trite compared to what you're doing. And I just want to say you're a special man.
Thank you, Bob.
In spite of the fact that you won't teach me anymore, because now, but now, all kidding aside, I do want to say thank you because you're amazing.
Thank you very much.
And your team is amazing.
Well, I'm lucky to work with people like you, Stephanie, Steve Matlaga, who's been a great boss. I look up to him. I admire him. He's taught me a lot. He's probably steering me in the right direction in the last 4 years that he's been here with your support and everybody's support in the POA management office. You know, we've made tennis grow, and you see our revenues in the last month, and our revenues for this year compared to last year are higher than last year.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we almost double budget for the month of July, almost by a couple of $1,000.
So we must be too cheap, is that it?
either that or something's going on.
Okay, well, Stephanie, we'll look into that
Yeah.
after the meeting.
But I wanted to thank Bob and Stephanie for inviting me to this meeting, and also keep all our members, tennis members and residents of the island informed with what's going on in the tennis department and in the tennis facility.
And I just want to say, if you're on part of the tennis club, make sure that you sign up for our email alerts, because on Thursdays we send out the tennis email with have all the clinics and the information. We also have the tennis rainout list, so that way you get a notification, an email, and a text message if the courts are wet or what have you. So
Yeah.
it's important to sign up for
Yeah,
those
members
things.
get a rain now email every time it rains. We send it a little bit before 8 o'clock. We open the shop. The girls, the staff gets here like a 7:45. As soon as we get the information on the court status as far as the weather goes, we send out the email right away. And I feel for those members that are not residents of the island and leaving Hollywood and they want to drive here, I understand that, but that's the time we send the email, and I know that everybody, I say 98% of the members that get that email, they're very thankful because of that.
Good. Well, I thank you all for paying attention and listening, and thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Bob.
Don't go away, because we have a few other things we're going to talk about. But Carlos, thank you so much, and
Appreciate
just
it.
stay healthy.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.